Hello, this is another ZwoBot tutorial, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Blur module. It's pretty self-explanatory what it does. I've already connected it to my player here, and to demo this effect I'm going to use this sound reactive generator module called Earl. I'll do a separate tutorial on this, so don't worry about what this is doing. This visual is being generated by this, but I'm just using it to demonstrate the blur effect. So I'm just going to hide that. The first control we've got here is blur, so obviously that applies the blur effect. So you can see as I'm turning it up, the blur is getting more extreme. And then we've got this glow effect below it, and this applies a glow to the blur. So as you can see, as I'm turning it up, the glow is getting very extreme. Now, if the blur is right down, the glow effect isn't going to do anything because it's not applying the glow to the source video or the source visual. It's applying it to the blur effect, so you're only going to see this glow come into play if you've got the blur turned up. So you can see how that works. Both of those have beat controls and sound reactive controls. Down here we've got our usual transparency control. Let's turn it up so we can see that a bit more. So that changes the transparency of the effect, and we've got our blend modes here. And here we've got our texture effect, which will apply a texture map to the effect. If we hit this plus button, we get some more controls here. So we've got this focus parameter, which applies the blur to a specific region of the screen. We've got three settings for this. Vignette, which will, let's just turn it right up so you can see it very clearly. So the vignette effect applies the blur to the corners of the video. So you'll see as I'm turning the focus up, it's applying less to the center and more to the corner. When it's all the way down, the blur is applied everywhere, and when I turn it up, it's focusing that blur to the edges of the screen. So you get this kind of circular area in the middle of the screen where the blur isn't applied. And the focus Y does the same thing, but on the Y-axis. So instead of applying it in a circular fashion to the corners of the screen, it applies it vertically down the middle. So you can see you get this strip in the middle of the screen where the blur isn't applied. And focus X does the same thing, but on the X-axis. So it's doing it horizontally. And then these GPU settings are basically in case you're having any kind of processing issues. So your graphics card is struggling a bit, you can change this to low GPU, and that will create a lower render version of the blur. So you can see it looks quite different here. Personally, I would always leave it on high GPU because it looks much better than when you put it on low GPU. But if you are having any performance issues, you could try changing it to low GPU to see if that helps. And that is it. Not too much to cover with this particular module. I'll be back with another ZwoBot tutorial soon. If you're liking these videos, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment to let me know if you would like me to cover anything specific related to ZwoBot.